Ishan from LA, and Afifa from Kashmir, Faisal from LA, and I think I have Rubina from Michigan. And if I don't know where Saima is calling from.
Saima is from LA.
Saima is from LA too. Okay. And I think I did it. And Salim Sab from Atlanta, yeah. Okay. If I missed anybody, please introduce yourself so we know who else is on call. And Kaiser Sab. And Maqsood Mir from Canada. MashaAllah. MashaAllah, we have good attendance today. So, should we start at Fansab?
Bismillah Kareem.
Okay, Alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. If I've missed anybody here, first of all, I really want to thank everybody who has taken time off to join the call. I'm not going to take much of your time. I'm just going to introduce what the whole purpose of this calls are. These calls are for our patrons, for our supporters, so that we keep them in the loop and take their advice and directions in how this should be done. This is your organization, and we all want to do what you want to do. So we've started this program. We started patrons call for a long time. We've been doing off and on, and sometimes the attendance has been a little bit slow. But we decided to introduce our programs again to our patrons, and we started last time and in November. So this is the second call we're introducing our programs. And Mehreen is our child development lead, and she's going to be, sorry, can you mute yourself please here? So Mehreen is our child development lead, and we've decided to bring the people directly from the ground to introduce the programs and to explain the programs to everybody. So if there's any questions regarding the program, they can directly respond to those questions. Currently, we have close to 500 kids in this child development program, which originally started as orphans program, but then moved on to other kids as well. And Mehreen's been with us since the floods of 2014. She started in Delhi and then she moved to Srinagar. And we're lucky to have her and other field staff in this program. Today, we're also introducing one of our star performers, Muzaffar Awan, in this program, who's been in this program since 2012 and is pursuing his arts degree in Pulwama now and wants to be in civil service. Hopefully, we'll get to hear from Muzaffar as well and other team members, Afifa and Shakeel. So I'm going to pass it on to Mehreen so that she can introduce the program and explain the program in detail. So if there are any questions, we'll hold them in the end. Over to you, Mehreen.
Assalamu alaikum everyone. Good morning. As already introduced by Khalid sir, I'm Mehreen Khan, taking care of our child development program here. Thank you, sir, for your kind introduction. Well, today I would like to take this opportunity first to thank all our patrons, our donors, our well-wishers for being there, for their generous donations. And I'm from a ground team, and your donations are really making a great impact on ground. They are really changing the life, and we can witness that every day from the ground. Thank you for your donations, and thank you everyone for being here with us today for this call. Talking about our program, Child Development, for us, it's not just a program. It is a feeling of togetherness, and it is a connection of belief, a trust with our beneficiaries. It was in 2018, I was doing the survey, and we came across a village called Behnipora in Handwara. We came across a family who lived in this logged house. We knocked at the door, and an old man white beard, stick in his hand, came out from this corridor towards us. And we started talking to him, having a conversation on these stairs only. And while talking to him, he said that he has been taking care of his 3 double orphan nephews since the last one was born. This man was full of courage, but because he had at that time 4 silk discs in his back, he was not able to go out and earn. While having conversation with him, he said, "मैंने उसको अपना खानदार इसलिए कही नहीं क्योंकि शायद मेन जनान वात हनीमन यिथ कनीमन वातुन गछ." That means this man has just sacrificed his dreams. And this man was Sabir Ahmed Sheikh, the man who has sacrificed his future for his nephews so that they can get a proper love, proper care. This man does cooking, washing, uh, everything, name it, and everything for his nephews so that they can get a better life ahead. But at that point of a time, he also mentioned that these days, my nephews sleep half hungry. Having this conversation with him, we sat there for a long 1 hour. Just because of his trust, just because he felt that there is someone who can help my nephews, who can help me. And after listening to him for an hour, immediately in the next scale up, that was after this assessment, we took these 3 children in our program. And Shukur Alhamdulillah, his elder son is currently passed his matriculation exam, and the other 2 are in middle grades right now. Not only this, while monitoring this beneficiary of ours, Mr. Sabir Ahmed and his family, we felt like he needed more support. And that more support was of livelihood that we had to provide him because he needed that at that point of time. And over observing this family over a period of time, we came to know that he has an experience of cattle rearing. So we provided him a unit of sheep. He was courageous, he was willing, he wanted to do something for his children, and we were there to support him. He reared those cattle, he expanded his flock, he did everything in his power to make sure that he earns out of that livelihood. And he expanded his flock. He sold those extra sheep, what we can say, and then he expanded his livestock. Not only his flock, he expanded his livestock, then resold them. And he continued doing this. Today, he built a house for his children. He built a house for his nephews. This man, who was looking much older than his age when we first met him, is looking much younger today at this point of time. These are his kids who are happy by heart. They're happy that they are in a good, at least a better home than before that has built by their uncle. These are the stories. We have the stories of upliftment. We have the stories of encouragement. We have the stories of enlightenment. We have stories of failures even. We have the stories of success. We have the stories of happiness that we need to share with you over the period of time. Currently, this family is at a stage that in few years, they'll be self-reliant because their guardian is working hard on that. The children are also studying hard. These are the impacts that your donations make on ground. These are the things that happens to a family. These are the impacts that we can see and clearly see through these stories. Moving on, you might have got an idea how our program works. We provide critical support to the children who belong to the vulnerable communities and enable them to attain a quality education. By quality education, we not only mean the education that they study, we mean that they should tomorrow stand on their own feet. They should tomorrow sustain their life. Having this said, we have categorized our program in 4 categories. That is education and medical, and then there adds on nutrition, hygiene, and more support. Education and medical is the education only, and other is the comprehensive support. I'll define these categories in coming slides. Moving on, first, I would like to share a selection criteria with you. As I said, we work in the communities So we have the references from the ground. We have the references from the communities, that wherever we need to intervene ourselves, wherever the community needs the help, we get references from the community. Then our monitors, or from all our intervention sites, goes into the particular households and gets the information. Then the baseline assessment is done by our project coordinators, then shortlisting of the families for the final phase, and then visits by the lead, and the final selection is done. Talking about the categories, how we formulated the categories is this delta. That is the income and the expenses of the family. The income and the expenses of the families are done during the assessment of the family. And by this, we get delta. What is the input of the family and what are their expenses? Obviously there are different different expenses and different deltas in every case. None of the case is similar. In every case there is a different delta. So we have categorized this delta into three different supports, that is full support, education only, and the other support here. And this is again this is the need that comes from the ground. This is not what we decide we should give them, but that is the need from the ground. Some of them needs only educational support. Some of them needs maybe nutrition and hygiene. Some of them needs full support. This is how we have categorized these categories in our program. Moving on, this is the monthly cost per child in our program, which is around on an average $34. In this, we provide education and medical care that costs us $25. In this, we provide them school fees, tuition fees, annual charges, uniforms, books, and everything, whatever comes under the banner of education and the medical care. Then there is a nutrition. In every demographic and the need based from the ground, our nutrition changes from family to family and from our intervention sites to the other sites. Then there is a hygiene. Again, we provide this toothbrush, toothpaste, Glycerin, Vaseline. Whenever we go into the ground for the survey, we always find there is not only a poverty, there is not only an orphan people, but there is very low level of hygiene in these people, because their first priority is to survive. Their first priority is just to have the next meal, and they don't focus on these kind of things. But hygiene is a very important part, so we have included this too. So then there is an additional support, winter, summer casuals, blankets, and other things. But I would like to, little bit explain it here. It is not limited to winter or summer casuals or shoes or socks or blankets. Recently, last year, we got a need from a ground that there are families. Usually our families live in a very small rooms, don't have that much of sunlight inside, and a lot of other things they go through. So these were the families which were short of electricity during winter time. And we had to provide them at that time the solar lamps. Then we have to provide them the buckets, because they have to go out to the public post to get the water, and they cannot go every time out. So we provided them the buckets and the bigger tank-like things, so that they can store the water. We provided them the blankets, not only to the kids, but to the families also. So this kind of additional support, it varies year to year, demography to demography, and family to family. So this is again the customized one. So moving on, I would like to take you all back a decade nearly, Shukr Alhamdulillah. It was 2011 when we started, when CHINAR International started, when they laid the foundation of CHINAR International, and the same day was laid the foundation of the Child Development Program. We were having a member of 6. We were having a team of 6 who were doing everything. By everything, I mean everything. They were doing finances, they were doing planning, they were doing programs, they were doing transportation, they were doing door-to-door surveys, they were doing everything in their capacity to make this happen, to start and lay the foundation of child development and CHINAR International. At that time, we started at the village Zampatri, which is in district Shupain, with 15 children, from 7 families, and later this year we also provided 3 livelihoods. So this was where we started. Now, how far have we come? Shukr Alhamdulillah, today we are at a team of 9 who are focused on our child development program. Till now, we have supported 637 children, among which 518 are currently in our program from 240 families. We are at 49 livelihoods, and among them, 36 are going on. Now, most of you think like 637 is a very small number. Why 637? Why not in thousands, or why not in more than 600? I would like to mention here, we at CHINAR International believe in quality. By quality, I mean, if it's only giving a bag, if it's only giving a copy, we can give to thousands and we can show the numbers that we provided bags to thousands of children. But we believe in a, as my first slide said, we believe in quality education, to provide them a better education so that they can sustain in life, so that they can have a good life. And again, the another thing that is a constraint is of funds. We have a very limited funds. That is why we don't have much number. Right now, in today's date, in my office, I have a bundle of what we call BLDs, that is the baseline assessment forms, lined up in my cupboard, which are those families who need our support. But when we are into the field, we go for the survey, 96% of them are deserving. But because of the shortage of funds, we have to only select the budget, the given beneficiaries, I mean the families. We only have to select, for example, 20, and we have the forms with us, that is the families are 40. We have to drop those 20, we have to drop those 10, because we have only budget for 20 families. Sometimes we fight for one more or two more families so that they can get into a program, but we know we cannot fight for the third one, because we have to make sure that there is a survival for our already existing beneficiaries. We have to see that budget also. Talking about our field surveys and talking about how difficult it is for us to choose among those families, I would take an opportunity. I have with me here my colleague, Mr. Shakeel Ahmed, who is an excellent community expert. And recently this thing happened with us during our surveys. I would like Shakeel Ahmed to share a piece from that survey. Yes, Shakeel Ahmed.
Assalamu alaikum, everybody. My name is Shakeel Ahmed and I work for CHINAR International from last 8 years. So recently, am I audible?
Yes, yes, please go ahead.
Mehreen? Okay.
Yes.
So recently we are doing a survey. हमने अभी recently एक survey किया था एक इलाके में. हम ऐसे जैसे कि मेरीन मैम ने कहा कि हमें बड़ी हमारी थोरो प्रोसेस होती है सर्वे की, कैसे हम एक फैमिली को उसकी वेरिफिकेशन करें वो डिजर्विंग है नहीं है. इसी सिलसिले में हम एक इलाके में गए थे रिसेंटली फ्यू वीक्स बैक. तो वहां पे हमने एक बिल्कुल स्कूल एक था गवर्नमेंट प्राइमरी स्कूल, वहां के बाहर हमने एक बच्चे को खेलते हुए देखा एग्जैक्टली स्कूल के बाहर. तो हम घर घर जाके सर्वे कर रहे थे, तो हमने उसको बुला के, उसका फादर वहीं पे काम कर रहा था, बच्चे का फादर उन्हीं के साथ. तो हमने उस बच्चे से पूछा, बेटा आप स्कूल क्यों नहीं गए? पहले तो वो बच्चा शर्माया, अपने बाप के पीछे, अपने जो उसके वालिद साहब थे उसके पीछे छुप गया. लेकिन फिर मैम ने उसको प्यार से फिर से बुला के सामने पूछा, बेटा तुम स्कूल क्यों नहीं गया? और उसने बड़ा ना वो एक उसने बोला कि येलने में काय पिए छे वो क्या करने का सा स्कूल. तो उस बच्चे की ये बात बिल्कुल दिल को चुभ गई. हमने उसके वालिद की आंखों में उस टाइम देखा कि वो एक बेबसी सी थी कि मेरा बच्चा, ये जो गैर लोग आए हैं बाहर से, बड़े प्यार से बड़े मोहब्बत से मेरे बच्चे को कह रहे हैं कि स्कूल क्यों नहीं गए, लेकिन मैं इतना बेबस हूं कि मैं इसके लिए कॉपी और पेंसिल प्रोवाइड नहीं कर पा रहा हूँ. वो उसकी आंखों में, हम वो जो उसके वालिद साहब के उसकी आंखों में देखा, और उस बच्चे की आंखों में एक ख्वाब था, एक सपना था कि बत गसा स्कूल मगर मे अत कॉपी में कहीं पेंसिल में कहीं बत गसा बाकियन बच्चन सत स्कूल. तो ऐसी सारी फैमिलीज, ये एक छोटी सी एग्जांपल थी, ऐसी बहुत सारी फैमिलीज है. जब हम सर्वे के लिए जाते हैं, हम 10 या 20 बच्चे हमें सिलेक्ट करने होते हैं, लेकिन हमारे पास बहुत सारे बच्चे होते हैं जिनकी फैमिलीज काफी सारी डिजर्विंग होती है. तो ऐसे ऐसे काफी चैलेंजेस आते हैं, ऐसे चैलेंजेस जहां पे आपको आंखें बंद करनी पड़ती है लेकिन आपका दिल नहीं मानता. तो ये एक छोटा सा पीस था जो हमने रिसेंटली देखा. ऐसी काफी सारी फैमिलीज हैं जिनको आपकी हेल्प की काफी ज्यादा जरूरत है. थैंक यू वेरी मच.
Thank you so much, Shakeel. Thank you. The slide currently you are seeing is the child. His name is Zishan, and we were talking about this child only. Recently, we went to this village just 2 days back, and we scaled up him in our program. I can't express that how happy he was, how excited he was. He was roaming with the happiness, and he was, yelling at everyone that, hey, meche color. That means I got colors in my bag. I got crayons in my bag. I got pencil. I got this thing. He was so excited because I think he has seen these kind of things for the first time in his life. He got these many things together. And he said, yes, I will go to school. When this time I asked him, or when Shakeel asked him. Thank you so much for this story, Shakeel. And moving on, when I said we are having 637 children in our program, and out of them, 119 are out of our program currently. And these are the two pie charts on your screen right now, which is 119 out of our program and the support year that we have supported them. Among this, 47 are self-reliant. I would like to explain this self-reliant. These are the people, these are the children or the families who are self-reliant because we provided them the livelihood. Their life got their life I'm sorry. Okay, sorry. They got self-reliant because of for the livelihood, or the other reason. Other reason would be either their siblings got they got graduated, they passed their college, they passed their masters and got their job, and they got self-reliant. Or these are the families, these are the few families who needed our support for the short time, and then they were able to sustain their life and they were happy. Then there is a 7% who got help from other sources. By other sources, we mean that these are the kids who got sponsorships in their education from either from the government schemes or from somewhere else. They got the sponsorship and they got their education covered. And their families said, "We please help some other children with this money." And then they in 7%, there is again
Sorry, Mehreen. Can everybody please mute your phones? There's some noise coming in. Go ahead, Mehreen.
Yes, in these 7%, there are also those kids who were orphans, and then later on they were relocated from the intervention site to their maternal home, and we have to stop their support because their families asked us so. And all over the world, we can see the communities who are there, who wanted everything coming in but don't want to follow anything. These 29% are those families who want a free thing to come in, but they don't want to follow the rules. They don't want to answer for their kids, for themselves, or for whatever they are doing. And there is this 17% who have a lack of interest. I'll talk about 29 and 17%. These are the support years that we tried, that we put our efforts on. We have these monitors and project coordinators on the ground who go door to door, who go to every school, who go to every tuition center to see whether our child is present there or not, whether he is in school or not, and if he is not, why he is not there. They work with them. They if the reason is the negligence, that is the 29% and 17% I'm talking about. If the reason is the negligence, they find the reason. They take that student literally on the shoulders. This has happened in our field. They take those children on their shoulders or hold their hands, drop them to school, wait till it ends, and then next day again show up to the school to see whether he is inside or not, whether he is coming to school or not. We put our efforts, we do our counseling and everything in our power to make sure that they at least get a better education, at least get to that level that they can sustain tomorrow. We have put our efforts, but of course there is always a family constraint or a community constraint that we cannot, there is a limitation up to which we can go. Moving forward, we have a data that is a class-wise data that we have. In today's date, we have 31% of our beneficiaries who are studying in primary, middle, then higher secondary, and graduation. By graduation, I mean they are in college level. I would like to talk about our Scale Up 2020, that is that covers the 24% of our class-wise data. This scale up was due in March, but we have done the first and the second phase. Somewhere first phase, somewhere second phase. But due to COVID, it stopped. And we have resumed it this month. And inshallah, this would also be covered up in next 10 days. I hope so, inshallah. Then the other on the pie chart on my right side is the milestones. By milestones, I mean we have here the boards. That is the 8th class, 10th class, 12th class, then the graduation that we do. Shukr alhamdulillah, we have 56% of our beneficiaries. And let me tell you the total of our beneficiaries, that is 163 that has passed these milestones. And among them, 56% are from the 8th grade, then 10th grade 26, then moving on 15%, and 3% from our college level. Here, I'm happy that they have caused the college, because some of them got the job and they went into the job, became self-reliant for themselves, and became a strength to the family. And some of them are doing masters. Moving on, today I'm again like happy because there are 52% of females in our program, because our program again give the preference to orphans, widows, and a female child. So we have 52% of female child in our program and 48% of the male child. Now this completes it all. That is the livelihood support that we provide. I hope I was able to make you understand that how we do our livelihood program. Among which I have already shown in the previous slide that we have 49 livelihoods till now, in which 36 are currently going on. That covers the 73%, which is shown in the slide. 25% is self-reliant in today's date. I'll talk about, again, I mentioned like 2%, that is the one family we have to withdraw the support or close the livelihood because due to the family issues that they have had. And this 73 is not just running their livelihoods, but they are running it successfully. First, I would like to mention here that when we started our livelihood program, we were no experts in this program. We were not knowing how and what will we do next. We were like, they needed help and we provided help. But today, shukr alhamdulillah, our team has become smart about it. Our team has now become, I can say, experts in our livelihood program. Well, this is coming in my mind from very few days, and I wanted to share this with you all. I had this in my mind that few days back, one of our beneficiaries showed up in my office, and it was a man. Maybe most of you must have seen that post. It was in October 1st. We provided a livelihood to a man named Muzaffar Ahmed. We provided him a livelihood of rugs. He went door to door to sell those rugs. This was the man when we took him in our program, and he was in a depression. He cried in front of a woman, a man. Imagine a man crying in front of me or our team members, because he was under a deep depression. He thought that everything is going to finish. I'm not able to earn for my family. I'm not able to do good to my girls. I'm not able to, what would I, how would I feed them? Why he said that? Because this man before COVID was earning just 100 rupees a day. And 100 rupees a day means nothing in today's date. 100 rupees a day he was earning, and he was buying groceries. That means he was buying the survival for his family for the next day. That is it. That is it. And he went into a depression when the COVID hit. And we took him in our program and we provided him with a livelihood. This man today also cried in front of me when he came into my office, because those days was of excitement. He said, I'm so happy that I sold all the rugs. And with that capital money, I bought new ones. And I'm going to sell that. I said, okay, what about the profit? How much you earned? And he said, I earned this much amount of profit. And I said, okay, so what did you do with the profit? He said, I bought a hand cart of 6,000 rupees. I said, why did you buy hand cart? He said, of course, I'm not only going to sell rugs, I'm going to expand my business. This is the stories of enlightenment, encouragement. These are the stories. I was so happy, even the tears came into my eyes at that point of time, because I have seen this family whose house was without doors and windows when we first went. They were not having proper furnishing. His children were malnutrition. And today's date, his house is brighten up. They are having good furnishing. They are eating good. And this man who was in depression, is thinking to expand his business. He said he will be selling trousers, mufflers, caps, socks, everything on this hand cart. And when the summer will come, he can sell vegetables. Look how broad his mind has opened. That is only because the impact of a livelihood. That is only because of the impact of your donations. That is what is making changes on ground. That is how the individual is changing. That is how the family is changing. I again would like to thank you all for these donations.
Mehreen, I'm going to stop you for 1 second. I'm going to give you a 30-minute warning. You just passed 30 minutes. So inshallah, try to, if you need to skip a few slides, do that. Get to the more important things so we can finish in time, inshallah.
Yes, sure. I'll make sure of that. Now, moving forward, this was our past and present. Now, talking about what we are thinking to go for our next year, inshallah. Obviously, we are thinking to expand the footprints of our child development and, scaling up in our intervention sites. And obviously, we are thinking to expand. The footprints means we are thinking to expand to more districts. We are making parents and guardians self-reliant. That is for sure, because making them self-reliant makes this this program a real success, that the whole family becomes self-reliant. Then improving hygiene and physical health, which we were not able to do on a large scale from past 2 years because of COVID and August 9. This is where we call the experts from the concerned field and do the community mobilizations. Then, of course, the admissions that has already started. The new academic session in Kashmir has already started, and we have started our annual distribution events in which we do distribution of their next session. That means whatever they need in education, or even we distribute our winter casuals and other things. Moving on, the plan forward. How are we going to do this? How are we going to achieve this? So our first priorities are education scale up of 100 children, then the scale up of Badgam and Kulgam. Then we are thinking to scale up, inshallah, for 100 new cases in livelihood. And of course, as I said, I have a pile in my office of these people in need who we can support. I am proposing for the doubling of the numbers for that. And obviously, we will be doing medical camps and community mobilizations. Now, most of you must be thinking, why Kulgam and Badgam? Why not Gandarbal? Why not Tral? Why not Bandipora? But for Kulgam, we have our own reasons, because we are working there since 2014 for quality education. But why not from 2014 till now? Why now? Because it was COVID that hit us. During COVID, we worked in these communities, and we realized that there is a need on the ground, not only working in the schools, but also working with the families, because these families are, they don't have the basic facilities. They don't have roads, they don't have hospitals, they don't have electricity. They have to go to very far-flung areas for their labor, daily labor and other things. So they are very vulnerable. I can say that they are from the vulnerable communities. These are mostly the labor class, the daily wage laborers. So we decided to start our child development program as a pilot with the 50 children there in Kulgam. Then why Badgam? Because I would explain that. We will be working in the Tehsil Tariq Sharif, and the area, or you can say the villages, will be Chel and Soofnar, in which we have two government institutions, only two government institutions, that is primary and middle, with enrollment of 144 children. So this area is again identified by our community, by the community resource persons, and we felt in need during the COVID. We got this information from the ground during the COVID. So this area connects the Peer Panjal range from Shupian to Badgam, which is already our intervention site. And here I would like to walk you through this map. What you see, I have marked it red, and this is the Chalan-Soofnar area. This area is Chalan-Soofnar. And you can see here Pulwama. We are already working in Pulwama. We are working in Shupian and then in Kulgam. So this is the Pir Panjal range. In this range, we are having a vision. We are working towards this, that we would be giving you a zero dropout due to poverty. That is why we are working more in these areas. We are taking more from these sites. Now, this was all about our past, our present, and what are we going to do forward. Chinar also believes in transparency. By transparency, I mean sharing each and every data which concerns you all. That means any kind of a data. For these children or the work till now, what we did, we have this data, right? We have this data, obviously. And these data is on Excel sheets. And it is not real-time access to you people or even to us. It takes us a time to find a single data point. For example, we have to see who had passed when and where and these kind of things. So for this, we are working on our database management system. By database management system means we are digitizing our data. We are going into cloud right now. So we have finished the first phase of it. Our data is already into the cloud. And since so many years, we were thinking that we'll be mapping our donors to our beneficiary base directly. With this, inshallah, when the second phase would finish, the app would be out, and you all, the donors and the concerned people, would have a login and the password, and they can see each and every information in there, whatever concerns them, not only about the beneficiaries, but also about CHINAR International or about the child development program. Where are we going and where we need your help? So this was our database management, about our database management system. Moving forward, I think this is the favorite part about the numbers, because I belong to the finance background and I love to play with these numbers. So talking about budget. Now, this was all what I already explained to you. And now talking how much it costs. So before moving forward, I like to again mention here our comprehensive support, that is the full support, what we provide in that full support to our beneficiary kid, to the family. These are the items we provide to them in our full support. These are the items or the help we provide in our education and medical care only. Now, moving on, before proposing the budget, I will go to the yearly budget for our current 518 children. That means I call this budget as a survival budget. This means this money is needed every year till these children graduate from our program or they are out of our program. So we need this budget. We need their survival, because as I already mentioned, they have a belief in us. They have a trust in us, and they feel that there is someone to help them. So this will cost us $160,000. This will cost us $160,000 for the survival of 518 children. Moving forward, this is the proposed budget. As I already said, I'm thinking to double up our numbers, because I already have so many requests and I feel really bad at times, our team feel bad at times that we are not able to help them because of the budget constraint. So these are the numbers and the number of support and in which project we are going to support and how many. So this would cost us $23,000. So before moving on, I would like to mention here, this is the money that would be raised or donated for the rainbows to shine, for the hopes that they have, for the faces to smile, for the families to change, for the lives to change. This would be the money that would be gone to the families who really are, who really are in dire need of it. Moving on, this is my child development team, our project coordinators, our monitors, our APCs. I would like to thank everyone today present here, listening to us, understanding our program, and supporting us throughout all thicks and thins, from all darks and sunshines. Thank you everyone for being here with us today. But before closing this presentation, With me, as already Khalid sir mentioned, that I have one of our star kids with us, that is Muzaffar Awan, and his excellent mentor, Roauf Ahmed, who is here with us since the start of this organization, since the start of this program. He has started it in Zampatri, and he is taking care of since that, and he's with us today. Roauf and Muzaffar, please share the piece of the journey with CHINAR International.
Yeah, thank you, Mehreen. Assalamu alaikum. मेरा नाम रूफ खांडे है. मैं चिनार इंटरनेशनल के साथ पिछले 9 साल से काम कर रहा हूँ. मैं तो एक जरिया हूँ इन लोगों तक पहुँचने के लिए. जो मेरा पीछे से सपोर्ट आ रहा है वो तो आप ही के थ्रू आ रहा है. तो मैं जो फील कर रहा हूँ ग्राउंड पे, तो उसका तो कोई कीमत ही नहीं है. मैं इसको लंबा नहीं खींचूंगा, क्योंकि मेरे साथ एक ऐसा बंदा है जो पिछले 9 साल से हमारे साथ जुड़ा हुआ है, हमारे प्रोग्राम में जुड़ा हुआ. तो ये आपको खुद कहेगा कि चिनार के साथ इसकी कैसी जर्नी रही है. ये जमपथरी से है, जो कि डिस्ट्रिक्ट शोपियान में आता है. मुजफ्फर अहमद इसका नाम है. प्लीज.
बिना पुकारे मदद को जो चले आए उसे मददगार कहते हैं. बिना पुकारे जो मदद को चले आए उसे मददगार कहते हैं. धूल से उठाकर हमें इस मुकाम तक पहुंचाने वालों को चिनार कहते हैं. अस्सलाम वालेकुम व रहमतुल्लाहि व बरकातहू. Firstly, heartily thankful to whole team of CHINAR International and all the guests from different countries and different areas. तो मैं जो आपके सामने अपनी जर्नी यहाँ पेश करना चाहता हूँ, तो सबसे पहले मैं बात करता हूँ मेरा पास जो था बिफोर 2011. तो सबसे पहले मैं उस मुजफ्फर अवान की बात करता हूँ जो कि 2011 से पहले का मुजफ्फर अवान था. तो 2011 से पहले चिनार इंटरनेशनल जब वहाँ कदम नहीं रखा था, तो उससे पहले मुजफ्फर अवान जो था उसे पढ़ने का बेहद शौक था, लेकिन कोई जरिया ना था जिसकी वजह से वो अपनी जो तालीम है वो मुकम्मल ना कर सका, और घर के जो हालात थे वो सही नहीं थे, जिसकी वजह से मुजफ्फर अवान जो था वो अपनी तालीम हासिल ना कर सका. तो उसने जो स्कूल को बिल्कुल मतलब 4th क्लास तक पढ़ने के बाद स्कूल की जो दुनिया उसे अलविदा कह दिया, और जो उसके वो ख्वाब थे, अब उसकी जो मुस्तकबिल के साथ जो जंग छिड़ी थी, उस जंग से वो जंग हार गया, और उसने स्कूल की दुनिया को अलविदा कहकर थोड़ा बहुत काम काज और मजदूरी के लिए निकल पड़ा, क्योंकि उसके पास कोई जरिया नहीं था कि वो अपनी तालीम हासिल कर सके. तो ये मंजिल ये सफर जो था 2011 तक चलता रहा. तो फिर 2011 में जब चिनार इंटरनेशनल ने वहाँ अपना कदम रखा, तो उजड़े हुए बाग में जब चिनार इंटरनेशनल आए तो वहाँ बहार छा गई, जिसकी चिनार इंटरनेशनल के आने की वजह से जो मुजफ्फर अवान के ख्वाब थे, तो उसने फील किया. फर्स्टली उसने पहली बार फील किया कि जो मेरे ख्वाब थे अब वो हकीकत में बदलने वाले हैं. तो इंशाअल्लाह अल्लाह की मदद से और आप लोगों के सपोर्ट से वो बिल्कुल हकीकत में मेरे ख्वाब हकीकत में बदल गए, और आपने वहाँ आकर मेरा सपोर्ट किया. तो फर्स्टली जब चिनार इंटरनेशनल वहाँ 11th में जब वहाँ 2011 में आए, तो मैंने अपनी जो तालीम जो छोड़ दी थी, जो मैंने एक जंग थी जो छिड़ी थी मेरे मुस्तकबिल के साथ, तो मैंने वो हार ली थी, लेकिन मैंने दोबारा वो जंग शुरू कर दी, और मैंने यही चाहा कि अब चिनार मेरे साथ सपोर्ट है तो मैं जो जंग है पूरी करूंगा और इसे जीत कर रहूंगा. और मैं बिल्कुल अच्छे तरीके से अब वो जंग लड़ रहा हूँ, और इंशाल्लाह वो वक्त दूर नहीं है कि मैं जंग जीत जाऊंगा. तो ऐसे चलते रहे चिनार इंटरनेशनल का सफर. जब मेरे साथ शुरू हुआ तो मेरे 4 बहन भाई थे जो हम प्रोग्राम में आए, तो मेरी फैमिली ने बहुत हैप्पी फील किया कि उन्हें एक जरिया मिल गया. वो जो मेरी तालीम थी वो पूरी नहीं कर सकते थे, तो चिनार इंटरनेशनल एक जरिया मेरे लिए बना. तो उन्होंने मुझे तालीम मेरे सिवा मेरे 4 बहन भाई थे, और मेरी कम्युनिटी में से बहुत सारी फैमिलीज को लिया और बहुत सारे बच्चों को प्रोग्राम में लिया, और हमने अपनी तालीम शुरू कर दी. तो 2015 में जब मैंने अपना 10th किया, तो वो मैं फर्स्ट स्टूडेंट था अपनी कम्युनिटी से, अपने एरिया से, जिसने 10th पास किया. तो उसके पीछे जो भी हाथ था वो चिनार इंटरनेशनल का था, और मैं पूरा क्रेडिट इसका चिनार इंटरनेशनल को देता हूँ और आप लोगों को देता हूँ जिन्होंने पूरा सपोर्ट किया और मैं उस मुकाम पे पहुंचा. तो उसके बाद 2017 में मैंने अपना 12th पास किया. उस वक्त भी मैं अपनी पूरी कम्युनिटी से, अपने एरिया से फर्स्ट स्टूडेंट था जिसने 12th का एग्जाम क्वालिफाई किया, और अच्छे नंबरात के साथ क्वालिफाई किया, और स्कूल में जो मेरा था वो टॉप पोजीशन था. तो उस वक्त भी मेरा वो भी पूरा क्रेडिट जाता है चिनार इंटरनेशनल को, मेरे उस साथी किराम को, मेरे टीचर्स के, जिन्होंने अपनी लगन से और मेहनत से मुझे तालीम दी और मैंने वो एग्ज़ाम क्वालिफाई किया। तो उसके बाद आज मेरा करंटली में कॉलेज में फाइनल ईयर चल रहा है, तो इसके सबके पीछे चिनार इंटरनेशनल का जो क्रेडिट है उन्हीं को जाता है और सबका सपोर्ट जो है वो आप लोगों का सपोर्ट है, आप लोगों की वजह से मैं यहाँ पहुँचा हूँ। तो उसके बावजूद जब मैंने 12th पास किया तो मेरे साथ कुछ और लड़के थे, बहुत सारी लड़कियां और भी थी जिन्होंने तालीम छोड़ दी थी, लेकिन उनको भी जब मैंने 12th पास किया तो उन्हें लगा कि जब मुजफ्फर अमान कर सकता है तो हम क्यों नहीं कर सकते। तो उन्होंने भी बहुत सारी कम्युनिटी में बहुत सारे लड़के थे, ऐसे लड़के जिन्होंने फिर मुझे देखकर उन्होंने अपनी तालीम से दोबारा शुरू की। उनमें रिहाना थी जो चिनार इंटरनेशनल की स्टूडेंट है, वो भी उसने 12th पास किया। करंटली रुबीना का चल रहा है, तो जाहिद बशीर शबनम जिन्होंने 10th पास किया अब उनका 12th है। तो पूरी कम्युनिटी है जो हमारी बहुत ज्यादा खुश है, बहुत ज्यादा सपोर्ट हमें मिला है। हमें नहीं लग रहा था, हमारी जो कम्युनिटी है बहुत फॉर फ्लंग एरिया से, हमें कभी सोचा भी नहीं था कि कोई ऐसे आकर हमारी मदद करेगा, हमें इतना सपोर्ट मिलेगा कि हम कुछ कर सकें। तो जब चिनार इंटरनेशनल वहाँ आया तो उनकी पूरा सपोर्ट हमें मिला और हमारी कम्युनिटी माशाल्लाह आज हम बिल्कुल अच्छा फील कर रहे हैं। बाकी जैसे बाकी लड़के हैं, बाकी दूर दराज जैसे कि और डिस्ट्रिक्ट से लड़के हैं, बिल्कुल हम भी वैसा फील कर रहे हैं। अच्छे तरीके से हम उन्हीं की तरह जो हमारी तालीम है वो कंटिन्यू कर रहे हैं। तो उसका जरिया जो है और जो हमें सपोर्ट मिल रहा है वो आप लोगों की वजह से मिला है और मैं बहुत ही शुक्रगुजार हूँ, दिल की उम्मीद गहराइयों से आप लोगों का शुक्रगुजार हूँ कि आपने इतना सपोर्ट हमारे लिए किया, इतना सपोर्ट मिला।
Please say it's Allah's will. Please say it's Allah's will. Don't always get on with one thing. Allah is first. Then it's Chinar.
Inshallah.
Inshallah, Rana.
Thank you so much, Muzaffar. Thank you, Roauf. The story that you heard is not only what he achieved more than this. This is not only he had passed his 10th, 12th, and he's in a final year of his college, but he is also teaching in our community classes. He's the teacher of the grammar, and that is a very difficult part. This kid who was not able to go to school, and our coordinator Roauf Ahmed, who is with him, has taken him on his shoulders to the school, and today he is able to read, write, and first when he spoke in English, I just loved that, because this man who was not able to write his name is speaking in English, he's talking in Urdu, and he's speaking languages, and he's teaching grammar. That is why these kind of star kids we have in our program. I would again like to thank everyone being here, listening to us, being present here, and supporting our program, supporting these kids. And thank you so much.
Okay.
I will pass it on to Khalid, sir.
Thank you, Mehreen, and mashallah, we've heard a lot. Are there any questions? Please unmute yourself and ask a question or a comment.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum. This is Masood from Los Angeles. More of a comment. First of all, it's been just a very moving experience for me. Thank you, Khalid, and thank you, Irfan, for pushing it and organizing it. And when I see over 40 participants in this kind of call, I'm just truly amazed, because all the meetings I have been to get 5 guys or 10 guys together is impossible. And Mehreen in Kashmir, and Roauf, and Muzaffar, Awan, I guess that's the name. What a wonderful performance. And I've been a supporter of Chinar, will continue to do that. But today's presentation by far kind of explained what is happening on the ground, because that's really what is important. So the only thing I can say, Irfan and Khalid, are you continuing support from me, and I'll be pushing the word across. We have a very powerful LA community. I can see that there, Athar and others, and our job would be to, inshallah, not only raise the 220 plus that you guys have for next year's budget, but even more, so people on the ground can do all this fantastic work. So thank you again.
Thank you, Masood bhai. Any other comments, questions? Go ahead, Altaf bhai.
Thank you so much, Khalid Sahab. Masood Sahab, assalamu alaikum. Your comments probably brought music to Mehreen's ears and to everyone in Chinar International in Kashmir. I actually posted in my chat, I don't know whether some of you saw that, what do we need to do, and how do we do it? How do we double and triple the support services Mehreen and the team provides? And she then brought it up in her concluding slide as well. I think each one of us, the 38 plus that we are, should become extensions of Mehreen, should become extensions of everyone that is in Kashmir. To in a year, 2 year, every year, we need to do whatever we can to increase the funding base. Without funds, they can't do what they do, and we shouldn't let them down. I want to congratulate Irfan for his vision when he started CHINAR, and Khalid. When he started working with Irfan, some of us came very late into this process. It's been very fulfilling. I communicate to the community in Atlanta that this is a must-need activity for the diaspora here. Obviously, there are other activities we had to be partners with, we had to support them. But for me, this is a must-need. Individuals in villages and neighborhoods where we would never see with the pain points and the pressure points. And by us going there, the grandfather who was taking care of his nephews, orphan nephews, and a smile on his face now, mashallah, that's remarkable. And I wanted to congratulate the team in Kashmir for remarkable work. Over to you, Khalid Bhai.
Yeah, thank you, Altaf Bhai. I think there are a couple of things I want to share with you. And what has for me been an eye-opener while working with CHINAR is the amount of work the team on the ground has done. It has been a remarkable team. This is not a team that comes to work just for the salary. They are in it with their hearts and with their whole body. I was there in Kashmir 3 years ago, and we had to go to an intervention site, and they picked me up at 3 in the morning, and we drove 5 hours to go to Warwan and come back. And I saw them firsthand working on the ground. It is just amazing. You cannot buy that dedication and that effort, that passion with money. This is a group of kids. This is a group of kids that Irfan has nurtured and taught and brought them together in an environment that is truly amazing. It is my hats off to these kids, and CHINAR, in my opinion, is working and helping only because of the hard work of the kids and the coordinators and the volunteers on the ground. And again, I want to thank them from the bottom of my heart.
Assalamu alaikum, this is Yasser. I just had a couple of, first of all, thank you so much for arranging this, such touching and inspiring stories. I wanted to understand from, Irfan and the board, what would it take to amplify the team size? For example, right now, for a team of 9 people, this is phenomenal amount of work, as I think everybody can appreciate. My question is, what would it take? I know there was a budgetary number put out there. What does it take to get to a team of 15 and maybe even go beyond what you're asking for? Do you have any forecasting on that, or plans for what would be an ideal if budget was not a major constraint? I know it's always going to be, but I hope.
So let me take a jab at it, and then I'll let Irfan answer part of it. I think what the thing is, we started with proof of concept, and it took us 2 or 3 years to show that this can be done, and then we started scaling up, and we actually would have been much higher than where we are now. The major problems are the conditions in Kashmir, and the schools get shut down, the things get you can only get 50% efficiency in Kashmir. But we persisted, and the team persisted, and we're doing as best as we can. And a lot of people are wearing multiple hats. in the office, and they're working on multiple verticals, and of course, increasing the size of the team, bigger payroll will result in bigger payroll. But I think we also are at a stage where we are as professional as we could, but once you go from like a mom and pop store to a corporation, then you have other expenses.
Yes.
Then you need to hire an accountant, then you need to have a lawyer, then you need to have a bigger space, then you need to have a warehouse. So those are capital costs. And we've always shied away from capital costs because of we're trying to get the best use of your money. So we've always tried to do where if you put $100 in, we want most of this money to go to the program and less to the capital cost. I honestly think we need to have supporters who will support the capital cost of the program, not just the program costs. And I think if you have a capital costs that are outlined, that the payroll is paid off, the accounting and the regulations, regulatory expenses, all those are charted out. I think we can move to the next phase. But even now, I think we are ready to. We are capable of doubling the program without having a huge capital cost. But I really think we need to have an endowment. We need to have capital costs, and the only mature donors can see that. Most immature donors say, "Hey, it's a cheap." Tren sasan kativan me chip to turboy sushi doin sasan divan kat. Things like that. I'm being
Yeah.
absolutely
Yeah.
honest, and that is the truth of the story. And we have to be mature donors and
Right.
understand that there are payroll costs. There are and some of the mature donors will even invest in endowment and say,
Yeah.
I'll put endowment towards it, and so that you can continue to do the work 5 years from now, 10 years from now. I'll let Irfan give you the other answers.
Yeah, the reason I asked that because usually things break in threes. When you have two people, it's different. When you bring in the third person, it's different. Now, when you're at 9, you're at a breaking point, and that's why I asked that question. Thank you for pointing that out.
So Khalid, thank you for your answer, and Yasir, thank you for the question, and thanks everyone today. First of all, I want to thank Mehreen for a fantastic presentation. You did this so beautifully. You covered everything so beautifully. And then Shakeel and Muzaffar Awan, man, when you talked today, I was remembering the first day you joined the program and how much we had to stretch to get you in, because we didn't have the budget to get you in, actually. You don't know this. How much Salma and Yasir and the other team on the ground fought to add more kids in. But how you described your journey was so beautiful, and hats off to Roauf. And you didn't get a chance to hear Roauf today. Roauf is the mentor, the person who started this program in CHINAR in Zampatri, and he is the one who has taken the kids on his shoulders, on his car, on his motorbike to school. And one of the strongest component of our program is the monitoring and oversight. Monitoring and oversight, because we help the children in their own domains. We don't move them from their domains into our institution, right? So this has been a phenomenal presentation, and I want to thank the ground team for that. I want to thank the audience today, the patrons today, Masood Bhai, Altaf Bhai, everybody else who chipped in, commented. Really hats off to you for taking 1 hour and supporting us. Now, Muzaffar's journey, folks, is just purely amazing. But coming back to the question that Yasir has actually, which is about scaling up. I can tell you this, that as we evolved in CHINAR, we never cut corners, okay? We built it, built the foundations rock by rock, stone by stone, as a Dasil does it in Kashmir, right? We, alhamdulillah, have a very solid foundation. And today you only heard about one program, which is the child development program, one vertical. So what I'm trying to say is this whole thing has been built on a very professional basis. So we are ready to scale up without getting, having those challenges of scaling up quickly, rapidly, and then dismantling. We have done it gradually. We are ready to scale up. And one of the examples of that is when the floods of 2014 happened. We had to scale up rapidly, okay? And rapidly means, you know what happened in the floods. We did that in a very organized manner in a chaotic situation. From 1 crore, our budget that year, I think we went up to 5 crores, but everything was done professionally. Our accounting, our processing, everything was done professionally. When we did the audit this year, we had 100% audit. It's not a joke when you do audit past floods. It was done because we have set that culture that you talked about in the office. The culture of, yes, compassion, culture of love, but culture of professionalism, culture of accountability. That's what gives me the confidence today to tell you that if we scale up tomorrow, we'll do it in an organized, professional manner. If we make mistakes, we make corrections. And alhamdulillah, because of our due diligence done over the years, we have not made so many mistakes. In fact, very few mistakes. So if you give us funds today, I can tell you with confidence that we'll scale up without running into the challenges that you talked about. And without being we are not a mom and pop show. We've already graduated to the professional level. So I'll pause here. Hope that answered your question.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments?
We are 5 minutes past the hour. We can stay for longer if you can stay for longer. I do want to have, as part of our protocol on these patrons calls, to have a picture taken with the group before we close. So at that time, I would request people to enable their videos so that we can see their handsome and pretty faces. Oh, back to Khalid.
So yeah, thank you, Irfan. I would suggest, honestly, I think the need is for everybody on this call to be completely convinced that this is a program and an organization that they're very comfortable with and they support it fully. I can understand that not everybody can donate, and that's okay. If they cannot donate it with their money, they can donate their time, they can donate their expertise, they can chip in with their advices, which is fine. But I just want to make sure everybody is completely convinced 100% that this is a program that they would want to support completely. I think that is, we need your complete cooperation and will into this. We need these people, our patrons, to be our ambassadors in your communities so that we can grow, inshallah, not just in the diaspora community, but even in the other friend circles we have, and look for opportunities to improve this program and fund it better. And this, like I said, this is your program. This is not Irfan's program. This is a program that helps children back home, and we all owe a little bit to them. And inshallah, Allah has put us in a better place than them. And if we can help them with our zakat, with our funds, we should be able to do that. And we become champions of CHINAR, inshallah.
Yeah, while we wait for other questions, I want to add here that, with Mehreen mentioned this, in the Zampatri belt or in the Shupian belt where we are operating, in that zone, we have 0 dropouts because of poverty. And she mentioned the Pir Panchal range. So our next goal is, wherever our interventions are in the Pir Panchal range, to have 0 dropouts because of poverty there. So we want to go that, and the range is important because there are a lot of backward people in that area, people much deserving of our help. So we have a very focused approach in child development, as in other programs. We have a roadmap. We have very tight processing, okay, from the selection to guidelines that the beneficiaries have to follow, to offboarding, protocols for the monitors, protocols for the staff. So everything is process driven. And remember this question that was asked by the LA community many years ago, is Irfan se chuk ye ta aasan, tej kuch ye run karan. chapane chalan tajkushu subarnafa. And that's when I mentioned, I don't know if you remember, and I mentioned that yes, there is somebody, and somebody who is objective, and somebody who is transparent, and somebody who is answerable, and who listens to feedback. And somebody said, and somebody who is immortal. And that is process, because I am answerable to the same process as Khalid is, as Muzaffar is, as Mehreen is. And that determines how we, and that's what we have put in place on the ground. And that's what we are proud of on the ground of the culture. Okay, I'll pause here.
Thank you, Irfan. I think Nazia has a question.
Actually, I had a comment, and my comment is that I actually did visit some of these sites last year, and so I essentially got a view of in the trenches and on the front line view, which is, again, I mean, when the stories are being narrated today, they were moving, but when you see that in person, it hits you with a force 10. So these are very powerful and very moving stories, because they're mostly success stories, because people have been held back because of lack of finances, funding, and sometimes just information. And what CHINAR did is fabulous. And then, it was very impressive to me, and because you saw the dedication of the volunteers. It's not their pay, it's not as if their pays are high, or it doesn't, but the dedication and the way with which they approach it just kind of completely transformed my view of the millennials as well, the people who are involved and in the on the trenches. And then what I also saw was what Muzaffar mentioned before, is the domino effect that happens, is that when one person sees likewise, when CHINAR provided livelihood for people, again, I saw the domino effect there. So what people approach CHINAR, and then it was a very good experience for me, and it is much more powerful and moving in person. So obviously, I go CHINAR is what I wanted to say, really.
Thank you, Nazia. So, okay, I think there are people who are putting chats, comments in the chats, and I don't think there's any other question. I think we should close this call. Thank you again for joining the call. Sorry,
Khalid,
go ahead.
With your permission, Khalid, if you can take a selfie.
Sure. Yeah, can everybody turn your video on? Irfan wants to memorialize this meeting.
No, we have made this a protocol, right? And we want to have, so I'll take a couple here because there are more than 2 screenfuls. So let me see if I can do this quickly. Save as, and then picture 1. And let me go to the next screen. Bear with me, please, folks. Keep the smiles going. So I'll save as. It's a good problem to have when you have more people. Okay, I'm done.
Thank you. I just want to, while I'm scrolling, I just saw Iftikhar Saab's face there, Iftikhar Rabu. He's the only non-CHINAR employee from Kashmir or a volunteer. Iftikhar Saab, you want to make a comment? Because one of the weaknesses we have in CHINAR is lack of patronage or minimum patronage from Kashmiris living in Kashmir. You want to make a comment of how to improve that patronage?
No, right now I'm just in the listening mode. I mean, Wajat has been talking to me. We have had some exchange of ideas. So I'm just trying to understand. I'm not really fully abreast with, I know what CHINAR does broadly, but I'm not into the specifics. But I think it's probably still seen as more like an NRK kind of an operation. And I'm sure there could be opportunities where we could have a lot more local participation. There are a number of NGOs or organizations working, and there is still space for many more or enlarging the scope. Right now, I'm just sort of trying to understand the whole scheme, and if there are any things, I'll be in touch with you or to Wajad, connecting back.
Thank you for joining, Iftikhar sir. Wajad sir, please make an ending comment. Pushti gayo maks.
Thank you. Thanks for joining this meeting. It's been a wonderful experience. And thank you, Mehreen and Muzaffar and Shakeel. Just a couple of points I want to talk about is, not only, Mehreen showed you one of the slides where the baseline is during when we do the groundwork, how we select the families, how we select the students, we have a baseline. But most of the time you will see we get requests from the ground, which even though they don't, they are above our baseline and they don't fall into our different programs. But we feel that, after all, we're all human beings, and we see that there is a need and we need to help. I'll give you a recent example. Last month, I was contacted by principal of a school from Pampur area. There were 13 students in that area who were being kicked out of the school because they couldn't pay the dues. And in fact, there was one mother who came to the school and said, these kind of stories, what do we do? Even though they don't fall in our program. That's where we intervene too. Like we did during the COVID situation. We did food relief package. Irfan was saying earlier that it makes a lot of difference when you have books on the ground. Same thing in the Pampur story. These 13 students, we put them under their wing, and under our wings. We sent our team there. They did their due diligence, and even though they are not following our program, but we are trying to help. We will, inshallah, do our best to keep them in the school and make it sure that they get educated. And then I think there are two or three families who may need a financial help too. But there's one thing about CHINAR International. We don't give money to people. It has been our policy from day one. We don't give money to people. We provide them help whatever way we can. Like Mehreen said, we give them water tanks. We do give them money to buy the bucket. We do it for them because we know she was captured. It's very difficult to work on the ground. So in the same way, there are people. A couple of months ago, also there was another family where I had to send the ground team to do the assessment. There was a lady who was with entire family basically because of her health condition. Father had died. The head of the family had died a couple of years ago, and they were in dire situation. And that lady needed medical help. She needed an immediate surgery. Otherwise, she would not have been able to stand up again on the leg. And those kind of programs, we also go out of our way to help those people. We had to make, for that lady, we had to make a lot of phone calls to surgeons and hospital owners and making sure that she gets the treatment. Which is ultimately our goal is ultimately we're all human beings. Leave aside whatever the Quran says or whatever the Prophet says. We are human beings. Allah Ta'ala banane two purpose for. If we don't have a goal in our life, if we just live for ourselves and our family, I don't call that a life. have to see what's happening around. We have to picture. That's the, I think that is the basic, I would say the reason Allah Ta'ala put us on to see how we succeed in living that. That's what I would conclude. Keep on, please be our patients. Spread the word. I know I have been talking to Iftikhar for a long time about the program in Kashmir. We support in Kashmir. So please be our ambassadors. Talk to your friends, families about the programs we run, and inshallah we will do another presentation on other verticals we have. Like we have intervention in government schools where we are almost influencing close to 4,000-5,000 students, or we have livelihood programs, or we are now doing another teach with CHINAR program where we are training teachers so that during these COVID times or curfews, they can teach kids in their own locality. That kind of, a lot of programs are important. So please spread the word, be our ambassadors, and help us in running these programs. Thank you. Thank you, Khalid.
Okay. Thank you again, inshallah. If there are no more comments, I think we'll close it in the interest of time. Bilal put in a comment here. So Bilal saying that we should maybe have a membership drive, a yearly membership fee of $100 or something. Inshallah, we're Altaf Bhai is looking at that. We're debating it in the board. We'll see, inshallah, how that works out. But as long as we have, inshallah, dedicated people, dedicated champions like yourself, inshallah, we'll be okay. Allah Ta'ala ka salam. Okay, thank you again, everybody. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, everyone. Walaikum assalam.
Walaikum salam. Thank you.
everybody.
Ground team, just stand by.